Hello and welcome back to my channel, Craft Time by Casey. I am Casey, and today these are the 6 bracelets that I will be making, and I am super happy with how they came out. Most of the beads from these bracelets came from Sam's bead box for the month of May 2022, and the theme was Boho Travels. And all of these bracelets are done with a magnet clasp from my own stash. I went with the smooth round magnet clasp. I tend to think that magnet clasps are a lot easier for bracelets to put on and take off. So here we go. If you would like to see how these bracelets came about, then stay tuned. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to start off with the tools that I will be using today. So I have my set of cutters. I also have 2 sets of chain nose pliers, and I have my set of crimping pliers. I will mention my tool set. I will link this tool set below. Highly recommend it. And even if you don't get this tool set, highly recommend investing in your tools. It definitely makes making jewelry just that little bit easier. And I will be using 49 strand bead along wire. I always get it in the 100 feet because I go through it so quickly. And I'm using it in the color Bright, which is the silver color. All right, so let's get started. The main focal beads for this are these beautiful rice-shaped beads that came in the box, and of course the small faceted beads that also came in the box. Really pretty. And then of course spacers out of my own stash. I've already cut a strand of wire just over 12 inches long. So here's how I get it started. I'm gonna put on a jump ring and a crimp tube and a guardian wire. Put it through one side, wrap it around, put it through the other. All right, and you want to make sure your jump ring goes up into that guardian wire, and then that crimp tube has both ends of the wire going through it. That tail is just a little bit too big, so I'm going to pull it like that. And then I'm going to separate that wire because you don't want it crossed. And I'm going to go in there with my crimping pliers into that second groove and then give it a good smash. And then you're going to have that taco shape just like that. Turn it on its side. Go into that first groove. Give it a good smash. And then I like to go in with that flat part at the end. Give it that final smash, make it nice and snug. All right, and hold on to that jump ring. You take that crimp cover and put it right over that smashed crimp tube, and then flip it up. Go in there with your chain nose pliers, give it a smash. You want to go in with a gentle hand because these crimp covers can definitely get smashed pretty easy. And then I'm going to go front to back. Let that crimp cover get its round shape. And just like that, that is how we begin each bracelet. Okay, and now it's as simple as just the order of the beads. So we're going to start with one of the small faceted beads. Then a spacer. And then one of the elongated beads. When you get to that other end, you want to make sure that tail is nice and tucked. Just like that. And then in between each one, we're going to have a spacer, small faceted, and then a spacer, followed by one of the elongated beads. So this right here is the pattern, and you see that crimp cover gives the illusion of that first bead, which is pretty awesome. So we're going to repeat this pattern with the color mixture of beads all the way across, and we'll meet back up at the end. All right, so here we are at the end, and now we are going to close it off at the other end. So we're going to put a crimp tube, a jump ring, and a guardian wire. Put it through one side, wrap it around through the other. And then we want to make sure that jump ring goes up in the guardian wire, and that crimp tube has both ends going through it. I'm going to grab that jump ring and then kind of pull that tail on down. So we're going to put that tail through the first few beads. All right, and once you get it through that first few, you're just going to pull on that tail, hang on to that jump ring until it comes down and it's nice and snug. So I'm going to take that guardian wire and I'm going to pinch it closed with my fingers. And you do want it to be snug, but you don't want it to be super tight. You do want the bracelet to have some flexibility. All right. So now I'm going to hang on to that tail, go in with my crimping pliers into that second divot, give it a good smash, turn it on its side, go in with that first divot, give it a second smash, and then go in with that flat part at the end and give it the final smash. That way it is nice and snug. All right, and then I'm going to take that crimp cover, put it right over the top of that crimp tube, flip it over just like that, go in with my chain nose pliers, give it a smash, and then go front to back, get it that round shape, give it the illusion of that first bead. I'm gonna go with my cutters as close as I can, cut that tail off, and then I'm gonna, well, it looks like it went kind of automatically in there, but you do want to make sure that small bit is tucked into the next bead. And there's the first bracelet. So we're gonna go ahead and put on our magnet clasp, and these are pretty strong magnet clasps. Let's set them apart. And for each jump ring, I'm gonna go ahead and open that jump ring, and put the magnet clasp on one side, just like that. Close that jump ring. And the same thing on the other. Open the jump ring. Put on the magnet clasp, the other side, and close that jump ring. And there you have it. There is bracelet number 1. On to the next one. All right, so here we are with the next bracelet. Already have it started. So if you do need a reminder on how to get that started, you can definitely go back to that first bracelet. It's the exact same process. So for this one, I am using one of the focal beads that came in the box. I love that engraved design on that one. Very, very pretty. I'm also using some of the weathered stones that came in the box and some of the 6mm rounds. And then for my own stash, I'm using some 4mm pearls and some flower-shaped bead caps. And also some spacer beads that are grooved on the side, kind of flat, round spacer beads. All right, so the first side, gonna have one rock bead and then spacer, rock, spacer, and then down here, we're going to tuck that tail into those first few beads. Just like this, and then we're going to repeat this 3 more times. All right, so here we go. Here's the first, here's the start of it, and now we're going to go into the next section, which is going to be bead cap facing up, 6mm round, bead cap facing down, and then we're going to put one of the 4mm pearls on there. All right, so here's that part, and we're going to repeat this 2 more times. All right, so here is one side of this bracelet, and now we're going to add that center bead just like that. And now we're going to do this same thing that we did on this side over here. So here is the completed bracelet, and I went ahead and finished it off. If you need a reminder on how to finish it off, you go ahead back in the video to that first one, and it is the same process. All right, here's bracelet number 2. On to the next one. All right, so once again, I have the next bracelet started right here, and it is a matter of the pattern. So we will be using the table cut mix out of the box, and I will also be using some 4mm glass pearls in between. We're going to start off with a 4mm pearl, and we're going to go back and forth. 4mm pearl in between. And then bring it down to the end. And you're going to tuck that tail in just like that, and tuck it into that next bead. All right. So here is the pattern right here. We will repeat this 3.5 more times. All right, so here it is, all the way finished. I went ahead and put the clasp on the end, closed it off. So if you need that reminder, you can go back to the beginning, and there it is. So here is bracelet number 3. On to the next one. All right, here's the start of bracelet number 4. And we are going to be using the flat round stones that have that light kind of baby blue background color. Very natural stone looking. And then some grooved spacer beads of my own, kind of has that wrapped look. And then of course the 4mm pearls and the small faceted beads that came in the box. So we're going to start with the small faceted and 1 pearl. And then it is going to be a very simple back and forth. Flat round, spacer bead, flat round, spacer bead. And then on the other end, we're gonna tuck that in. All right, so here you go. Here is the pattern all the way across, and we'll meet back up at the end. All right, so here it is, the finished bracelet. I went ahead and closed it off, so if you need that reminder, go back to that first bracelet. It's the exact same process. So here we go. Here it is, and on to the next one. All right, so here is the next bracelet. I have it started here. We're going to start with the small faceted and the elongated spacer, small faceted spacer. Go down to the other end, tuck that bottom, tuck the tail in. So just like this, and we're gonna repeat this 2 more times. All right, so here is the beginning, and now the center component. We're going to have a bead cap facing up, 6mm round, bead cap facing down, and then the same spacer, faceted spacer. All right, so here's the start of the center component, and we're gonna repeat this 3 more times. All right, so there is that center component, and now we're gonna do the exact same thing that we did over here on this side. All right, so here is the finished bracelet. I went ahead and closed it off. So if you need that reminder, go ahead and head back to that first bracelet. It's the same process. So here is the finished product. On to the next one. All right, so here is the last bracelet, and I'm going to be using these absolutely beautiful round beads. They have the star, the purple star on them, and I think these are pretty awesome. And I will be using purple 4mm pearl beads. I will also be using these faceted elongated round beads. I will also be using these flower patterned bead caps. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna start with a 4mm pearl, then the bead cap facing up, faceted bead, bead cap facing down. Take it to the other end. You want to tuck that tail in. All right, so here we go. And we're gonna repeat this 5 more times. All right, so here is this side and now the center component. We're going to be using these small spacer beads. And then the focal bead, spacer, focal bead, spacer. All right, so here is that center component. And now we're gonna do this exact same pattern that we did on this side over here. All right, so here is the last bracelet all completed. And I went ahead and closed it off. If you need a reminder on that, you can always head back to that first bracelet. It is the same process. So here it is. We'll bring back all the other bracelets. And I'm gonna go ahead and set them up on my display so we can see them a little bit better. All right, so here they are. Here are the 6 bracelets that I made in today's video, and I am super happy with how they came out. I like the almost pastel colors that came in this month's bead box. The theme was, of course, boho travels, and I really like these bracelets. I like the focal beads that came in there. I like how they look on these bracelets. They look really, really nice. And of course, here are the magnet clasp. I like magnet clasp for bracelets. They make them pretty easy to put on and take off. Right up there with toggle clasp for me. And I really like these, the kind of solid, smooth, round magnet clasps. I really think they kind of pull these bracelets all together. So if you liked this video and you want to see other videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and give me a like. Leave a comment. You guys are so, so kind. And I'd really love to hear what you guys think about these bracelets. How do you think they came out? And I look forward to hearing what you guys have to say. And I really and truly appreciate each and every one of you. And I definitely look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.